And so here we are. We're live. I I gotta get this set up so that I can see stuff. Okay, so here we go. Um, Good morning, everybody. It's 11:30 Central Time in St. Louis, Missouri. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Shank, and I'm a real estate broker for a small firm that I own, real estate brokerage here in St. Louis, Deerwood Realty. And um, I I kind of have gotten to where I like the live streams. I do a podcast every day, and added live streams about maybe a month or two ago, and haven't gone well. Haven't gotten a lot of views, but we'll get more views as time goes on. Um, the live stream is important to me. I want people to know that that I exist, that I'm real, and that if you have some thoughts on real estate, especially residential, maybe you have some questions or something like that, I want you to know that there's somebody out there who at least is available, and real. I really, really despise what I see in real estate as far as, people with their glamour shots from the 80s. People are going to get the most for your home. Yes, they're going to get the most for your home. Maybe. Market's going to determine whether or not you get the most for your home. I get irritated, pick me because I'm the best buyer's agent. Or should I pick you over your cousin? I don't know. The world's gone mad. And then the funny thing is, real estate agents are supposed to make all this money and have all this prestige and everything. And it's so fake. It's just so fake. It makes me laugh. So what is my goal on the live streams going forward? Well, I want to do a daily live stream. And I want to go over some articles that I see and just give you some ideas. And then I want the chat to determine how it goes. I don't expect to have any level of streaming success for months, but I'm going to keep at it because I think it's important. Will the articles be timely? Most of the time, yes. But I guess where I'm at in my life is we talk about misinformation. We talk about, fact checkers, talk about all these things. And I'm kind of past all of it. So I'm a human. I have a heart and a brain. And that's about where I'm at. If I say something on the chat that's wrong, I mean, YouTube already has the algorithm that can choose in my live streams exactly what words will get me thrown off the platform. So I have no idea what they are. So I'm just going to go about it like I would a normal real estate agent. And, if I get kicked off of YouTube, then find me somewhere else. I think that the best way to get, to set this up, I don't think I'm going to show up a lot in Google search, especially not for the live streams. So you're either going to have to want to show up for a live stream in the morning and know that it's coming in like a certain time, which I haven't figured out yet. Like I said, I just went live today for fun. But then also maybe I'll put together like an email list, and I don't want to put an email list to spam you for all kinds of other stuff. Cause I sell real estate only in Missouri. I'm only licensed in Missouri. So, I'm not going to be able to, sell your parents' house in Washington or London. It's not going to happen. So I want to be able to, say, hey, the show's on now, or it's coming on, and here's what we talked about. And just, I want to build a community that I like. There's people out there, I guarantee, that are wonderful people, and they're getting their real estate news from a distant relative that's not really interested in selling homes or helping buyers at this point in time. They're looking to transition to something else. And so call me, text me, send me an email, do something. And let's build this community right. One of the things that I wanted to go over is a phenomenon that I see, and that's when you see a piece of news, an event, a newsworthy event, in the sense that it's a headline on the internet or something. Some people can just go reading the headline and they can create a mental model for what the article is going to be about. And they can also set up the article so that it's for them. Like they formulate an opinion that will meet with their audience. My problem is I'm not on the left, I'm not on the right. I'm not really a centrist, I don't think. So I have no home. So if I wanted to run a straight left-wing, real estate news site, a live stream, I could do that. And if I wanted to run a straight right stream, I could do that. And I don't want you to think that that doesn't mean I don't have opinions about things. It just means that I will not bow to the right or to the left. I have no interest in either side. People versus powerful, much stronger agreement for me, much stronger argument for me. And it will be because of the way I've grown up and what I've seen in my lifetime. So that's where I'm at. You're free to disagree with me. It's okay. I have no way to classify my politics at this point. I'm sorry. If that keeps us from working together in the future, that's fine. I don't care. I did want to talk a little bit about something that I've seen online, and that's and related. I want to relate live streams for people that are in their 20s right now, 20s and early 30s. Okay. Or people that are, have time to watch. So me live streaming at 11:30 on a Monday isn't gonna attract a huge audience. Now I'm gonna try and get down in the morning earlier. But gosh, 2.5 hours just flew by this morning. I want to, that 20 to 30-year-old demographic is going to be interested in their first home purchase. They're going to be interested in finance. How do I finance the home? How much money do I need? How does it work? They're going to be interested in, possibly, a strategy. Do I buy a starter home? Do I, what do I do with interest rates? How do I do this? Now, I'm going to give you guidelines. Okay. But they're unsolicited guidelines, and they're guidelines that may not pertain to your situation. And one of the things I want to do is with the articles we read or we go over is, get some idea of, does this article relate to you? Does this article make sense? Most of the time, people that write articles aren't experts in their field. And that's not to say that it's a bad thing. Some of the experts in fields are experts because they've kind of co-opted power. I hate to say it, but seems to be the case. Our institutions are pretty rotten. So anyway, let's look at these articles with a critical eye. If I'm not around and you see something, maybe it'll help. When people go buy houses, when young buyers go out to buy houses, they have their real estate agent, who may be a friend, maybe somebody they saw online, and then they have their parents and their family. And, mom and dad may have bought a house 25 years ago. That's not relevant to the market today. Are there things that could be relevant? Sure. I mean, should you put 20% down? I don't know. Very few people I know do. Does that make it wrong? I don't know. Should you buy a fixer-upper? If you want. One of the things I've seen with my buyers is when they bring their parents along, the buyer's parents are automatically against me. They don't know me. They've never met me. They have no idea who I am, but they've decided that I'm an evil real estate agent and I'm only looking out for their client to make a buck, or their daughter or their son. And it's hurtful, but real estate is not a game where it's not a game where people without thick skin operate. Let's put it that way. So we'll go to these houses, and I don't normally sell homes when we go out with buyers. I normally show the buyers the house, talk about the pricing in the marketplace, but I don't normally try and say you should buy this house. I try to educate my buyers to say, so that they know when they see the house they want, we can put in an offer and we can go from there. Is that wrong? I don't know. as my career continues, I'll have people that make it so that what you think is a commonly held belief or you think is the right way to do something gets turned on its ear, and it makes you question whether or not it was ever right in the first place. But I think what I'd like you to know is that real estate is a daily thing. Real estate sales is a daily thing. The market can change tomorrow. The market often changes seasonally. The market often changes daily in the sense that if I list a house for sale on Monday, I have a less of a chance of selling it. If I have showings on it, I have less of a chance of selling it for a high price than I do if I list it and have it available on the weekend. Why is that? Because there's more buyers available on the weekend. It's the same reason why my live stream isn't going to have 1 million people at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 11 o'clock in the afternoon. But that's okay. I don't want to. I'm already showing. I have to show houses on the weekends and nights. Okay, so I'm already busy. So anyway, we're going to try and get through stuff. If there's anything that you believe about real estate, you should tell me ahead of time. Put it in the chat. I don't expect for. I expect to have the chat as the collective, like the Borg, basically. You can prove me wrong in the chat. I am not perfect. So, this is without fear. We try something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if we go on, I'm going to go on for a year. Not sure how that's going to work out, but you'll know. As far as length on the live streams, I don't think it'll be any longer than an hour. And in these first ones, if I have nobody streaming, if I have nobody with me watching, then I'm going to cut it even shorter. One thing I do want to do is I want to pull up the YouTube on my other screen because I want to make sure we're streaming. Okay, yes, we're live. Okay, good. All right. Well, with that being said, where are we at the marketplace right now? Well, I just saw an article that said that the pending home sales have snapped back by 8.7% over last month. People were saying that the market was down. I can tell you that I don't need to operate that way. So when you say what's the real estate market, it depends on if you're talking about buyers. It depends on if you're talking about sellers. If you're a seller, it's a great time to sell your home. If you're a buyer, it's a terrible time to buy a home. Now, what should you do if you need to sell your house right now? Well, list it. Okay, if you have, you've already given yourself the time. Should you wait until the spring? If you want to, but I don't know what's going to happen in the spring, and neither does anybody else. Okay, so then we get to the side of buying. Well, should you buy now? Well, traditionally, seasonally, between November and February is when I like to work with my buyers because I feel like I get a better chance of getting a house. Buyers tend to not be hardy. They tend to not want to go out in the dark to look at houses. They tend to not want to go out in the cold or the snow or the rain. Okay, they oddly enough to me, I live in St. Louis. In July, it is terrible here. The weather is horrible. I wouldn't want to move furniture in July. It's one of the hottest months of our real estate. So, it's just a weird deal. It's a weird deal to me. Now, do I expect real estate trolls? Sure. But I don't really care. My goal is just to get the information out. My goal is to be able to articulate thoughts on the fly. I like the idea of live stream. I'm not a wordsmith, so that makes it tough. But hopefully the communication is strong. Hopefully you get to understand my tendencies, and we go from there. And if, like I said, if we go for a whole year, it's 11/29, right after Thanksgiving. We go a whole year and there's nothing. Well, then we'll quit. But we have to get out there. One of the things I saw that surprised me, I get email marketing all the time. Most of it is silly, but every once in a while I'll watch because I want to know what people are interested in. And so if you're a real estate agent, okay, if you say, I'm going to get my shirt just a little bit. If you say, hey, I can get you more leads. I can get you more commissions. That sounds great. Okay. You're marketing to the right crowd. Now, how do you do that? Well, I was watching, if you don't know what a sales funnel is, it's this idea that you get a contact and then you work through this funnel and then at the end you get a sale. And so what these people want to do that are selling to real estate agents is they want to start off with something that says like, fill out this form. Similar to what I'm going to do with my newsletter, with my little email that says, hey, I had, an episode a day. Because I don't think you can grow on YouTube by them recommending your content all the time. I don't think that the algorithm is going to be able to figure out the live stream algorithm, what I'm saying as far as, and then putting it out to the right people. I don't think that's going to happen. So you're going to have to be, it's going to have to be a capture type thing. Now, it'd be good if I set that up now, but there's nobody watching, so it doesn't make any difference. You just have to do it. But where was I going to go with that? Oh, so anyway, they talked about things in the terms of a playlist. And so I got an email and said, join this webinar and it's going to be great. You're going to sell all these houses. Well, that appeals to real estate agents. So then I didn't, because I don't want to be on a webinar. I don't want to be stuck somewhere because I don't. So they said, we'll show a replay of it. So I went to the replay and then they said that you had to log in to see the replay. And I said, nope, I'm not going to do that. And then finally, after 3 days, they said, hey, we've got it up on our thing. You can download it and watch it. And it turns out you can't download it, but you could watch it. And it was all about marketing on Craigslist. And I think it went something like this. If you have 85 buyer leads, there's a chance for 15 listings. Okay, 85 to 15. Which is nice to know. I'm even going to write down now because I just want to. So their thing was go to Craigslist, spam Craigslist. You'll get enough buyer leads, and out of those, there'll be at least 15 that want to list. Now, my question to you would be: how many people are on Craigslist in 2021? They say, well, it's free. Well, okay, but it looked like to me that this was to sell a CRM, a customer relationship manager. It wasn't necessarily to help you as a real estate agent. I mean, if you use that tactic and it works, wow. My marketing is so messed up with my brokerage that I have no idea what's going on. Things change, and trying to figure out what's going to be the right thing now. You may do it, but then 2 years from now, it'll change and you have no idea what you're doing. So ours is a mess, but we'll get it figured out. I'm not going to just sit here and watch it burn. So let's see. If you have anything, like my thought was always, if the chat has something to talk about, we'll talk about it. Okay. Because the chat's more important than I am. And then if the chat has a topic that they want a podcast on, or if they wanted to go in further, that would be great. You provide the content, basically. I'll throw up some articles. I'll talk about stuff that I see every day. But in the chat, lead me. We can talk about things that I don't know anything about either. I have no idea. We can talk about anime. I have no idea what it is. Don't care. I don't know. I wanted to give you some insight into my life, and that is, I have the podcast and I'd been advertising it on YouTube, and we've been having a terrible time because if you mention certain things, you can't advertise on. They reject your ad, even if it's within the context of the story. And I don't agree, but that's the way it is. So we were advertising on Rekieta Law, because I like Nick Rekieta. I like he's taught me a lot. Okay. Live streaming and his videos were great. They get stuck, they get throttled. But anyway, the Kyle Rittenhouse case came up, and he had the law panel on, and it was just lawyers coming in and talking, their thoughts over the trial, and the trial was being played, and it was just one of the most fascinating things. Now, I stopped advertising on Rekieta Law about 2 weeks ago. He was getting I think he got like 130,000 live streamers at one point in time. And I wasn't advertising on his channel. I didn't have anything to do with it. So that's great. That's my luck. I'm not, it's really weird. We talk about like you speak things into being. So we want to stay positive. But boy, that was a kick in the shins. And his subscriber rate was like, when I first started watching, was low. And now I think it's in the 300s. I don't know. I want to get used to, let me see where it is. Let me see where it is. Rekieta Law. Oh, let's see. 333,000 subscribers. So I missed it all. And frustrating. So one of the things that I said that one of the things like a million times, but something that you may not know about me is I don't like, this idea that common sense rules the day. So for Dave Ramsey, I have no interest in Dave Ramsey. None. And most of you don't realize that his whole shtick is to advertise for real estate agents. Get a Ramsey approved real estate agent. Referrals. He makes money on referrals. And I don't begrudge him for that, but I don't agree with anything about him. So my web guy wanted me to advertise with Ramsey, and I just said no. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. Been reading that the mid-90s were the best movie comedies of all time. I don't know if that's true, but I grew up in the mid-90s. And that's another thing I wanted to do too, is look, I'm 44 years old. I have the benefit of time. I remember when the internet was in its beginning form. In college, it was like, so there were television ads about AOL, and but we didn't have a computer or anything like that could get to AOL. We had a computer, just didn't have a modem or something. But then I remember going to college, and you could get on the internet if you went to the library. So I went on the library internet with my friends, and I'm like, we're going to go look on the internet. And at that time, there was nowhere you could go. There was no ESPN. There was no, actually there was ESPN. It was like ESPN.com or something. But you'd have to type in the URL, which at that point in time, no one would memorize URLs. It didn't make any sense. And you would use search engines like Lycos or Alta Vista, which would take you to nowhere, which would not get you where you wanted to go. So I remember the internet. And so I'm reminded of that when I look at, say, like NBC Sports right now. When I read an article on NBC Sports, the article is written so poorly and so biased that it's already garbage. And then and don't add your opinions if you're gonna report a game. I don't care what your opinions are. I want to know about what happened in the game. I don't care about anything else. And then if someone gets released because of domestic violence, okay, on a football team, that's the story. It's not how you would prosecute them as an attorney. No one cares. Okay. So reporting has changed dramatically in my lifetime. But then the comment section, okay, is amazing because the top comments are usually the most wrong comments there are. I mean, just absolutely worst takes ever. And why is that? Well, we're the majority of the people that are, the age group now that's going to comment on posts on NBCsports.com. It's going to be people between 18 and 30. They've not lived life. I have no idea what's going on. They're entitled to their opinion. Don't get me wrong. But, at some point you have to speak out against just blatant stupidity. Okay. Now, 25 minutes in, wanted to go over something that I have been toying with, and I want to express, and that is lying. So I've always lived my life in the sense, like, I try not to lie to people. I try to, live my life a certain way. And it's not of great benefit to the internet. For instance, here's one of my more wild takes. I don't like MMA. I don't like to watch people get beat up. I don't care. Like, I don't want to see it. So you're never going to hear me comment on an MMA fight. I've seen MMA fights, but it does nothing for me. Nothing. If I were 20 years old, oh, it'd be great. I'd really care. And I did. But at my age, I don't. I think it's terrible. If you watch it, good for you. Okay, I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it. If you want to, whatever, it's okay. My position is I hate violence. And I hate violence across the board. And I never was like that. I never used to be that way. I used to be fine with it. But now, at 44, hate it. It makes me sick. There's the shooting in Texas that happened. I don't know if I saw it. And here's another thing I don't like. I don't like to see video of people dying. Video of people getting shot. This is not who I am. Okay? But they show this. I saw it. It happened so fast. I saw it, and it's just very frustrating. But anyway, I wanted to go over the lying thing. And there is currently in our society no accountability for lying. That is, you can say whatever you want to out there online, and nothing's going to happen to you unless you go against the controlled narrative. And we don't always know what that's going to be, so you can run afoul of it easily. I suspect, we can talk about. There's certain things that are going to cause issues. Talk about gender. Talk about sex. All the things I don't want to talk about. In the sense that I have a real estate license, the National Association of Realtors have put forth a resolution that says that if I say something that's against the policy of the National Association of Realtors, I can lose my license. It's one of the strongest rules there is in the country right now. It has not been tested in the courts, so they can just go ahead and throw me right out of the. So I won't. So I'm battling a couple things on censorship. One, I don't know what the controlled narrative is every day, and I don't know what the National Association of Realtors is going to do to me. So let's talk about the lies, though. I got to thinking the other day that there is no place in our society where when you lie, you're punished. So that's bad. And you say, well, one lie is not so bad. And, it's just, no. You can watch people write dramatically partisan political things. And then when it occurs to them, they'll say, oh, no, that's, or they won't even bring it up. So if you look at the current crisis in America, health-wise, look at what people said 2 years ago, and then look at now. And they're given given carte blanche. Myself, if I were to say something, like I'll say something, let's go 5 years ago. It was hard to sell a house 5 years ago. Okay. If you go back and look at something that I've written 5 years ago, it's out of context. But these people were doing it on purpose. These people were lying on purpose, and they're not going to get caught. And understand that that's true for the Congress. That's true for the president. That's true for any political party. Okay. It's true for any CEO, any mega corporation. Just lie and don't worry about it. And if somebody ever catches you on the lie, pretend you didn't know, or you pretend that you were newly informed. So this is the basis off which we work nowadays. And it's not the basis on which I want to work. Now, how does that affect me in my daily life as a real estate agent? Well, I never assume anybody's telling the truth. Now, that may be a bad way to be. But why do I believe that if I'm a buyer's agent, why do I believe that the seller is acting in good faith? What if they don't? Do you want to go through all the trouble to get after them? Most people don't. They don't want to take the time or the energy. If I'm representing a seller, why should I assume the buyer's agent is truthful? I mean, you say these things like, "Oh, that's obvious," but there's stuff actually written in our Constitution for real estate agents, our Code of Ethics. I'm sorry, that says, like, this is how you're supposed to take this. This is how you're supposed to do this ethically. But what we found now is we selectively enforce things. We find somebody that does something wrong, and then we make an example out of them so that no one else will do the same thing. So that gets irritating. I guess where I'm at is what I say, what I mean. And if I said the wrong thing, and I don't know what it was that was wrong first, and I will apologize on a as needed basis. And I will also change my opinion. That's the other thing. If I come here tomorrow and I change my idea on what's going on in the housing market, so be it. And if you come at me with what about this statement or what about that statement from the day before, I accept it. I'm not going to be controlled by this idea that you can't ever change your opinion or your mind on something. My mind is much, much different than it was when I was 20. And I think for the most part, it's a good thing. One thing it's not good with is the idea of, taking chances. And at age 20, I would take a number of chances, and I did, financially, that didn't exactly pay off, I would say. But I took a chance. Didn't work out. No hard feelings. So what I thought we could do is, I don't want to run the show for the algorithm. So I don't want to run the show like I could go on Google Trends. I could see what the trends are for real estate, and I could, do a show on that. But I don't think that I want to do that. I think I want just a nice, free, fun show. And so let's just go over the articles I have, and we'll try to cut out of here after an hour. Okay. Here we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Okay. And I'm going to switch over to my other screen. So here we go. It says, this is the first article I saw. It says, this is out of Fortune. It says, $1 million homes will be nationwide norm sooner than you think. Well, for me, that's terrible because home affordability is a problem. But that's the headline. I haven't read the article. None of these things have been things I've read. And this was, 7 days ago. But it says, U.S. home prices notched their largest one-year uptick in tabulated history, coming in well above the high watermark of 14% and lead up to the 2008 crisis. So right now, the 2008 crisis, no one thinks is ever going to happen again. To keep up with this, Fannie and Freddie are expected to announce later a sharp increase in the size of home loans that can be federally backed, conventional conforming loans. So that's an important thing. So say you get a conventional loan, it has to kind of fit in this box. And if it fits in this box, then you're going to get a good rate. If it doesn't fit in the box, it's going to be a loan that a bank has to take on their books, and they would prefer not to, generally speaking. So federally backed mortgages of up to nearly 1 million in high cost housing markets. That's up from the current maximum of 822,000. So when you factor in the historical trajectory of U.S. incomes in the housing market, $1 million homes becoming the norm in the coming decades look all but certain. Median home prices are over or near that threshold in high income markets like San Jose, Key West, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. And before the end of the decade, median prices could very well hit that level in places ranging from Boulder, Colorado, Boston, to Reno. So, then it goes on. Americans are more than twice as likely to buy a home priced at $500,000 or more than to buy one under $200,000. Now, that's not great. Okay? That's not going to be good. Are wages rising at the same price as home prices? They're definitely not rising 14% a year, and they're definitely not rising 19% a year. And so, this is a number of things. This is going to be inflation. This is going to be, a good discussion about, should we build more homes? Why haven't we built more homes? What do we need to do to help with this? Or is it something that we don't want to help with? Do we just want people to have to buy $1 million homes? It's not good. Over the past 10 years, it says median home prices are up 81%. Over the past 20 years, they're up 127%. And if you calculate it from 1991, when the U.S. median home price was just $120,000, we're up a staggering 237%. I don't see this as being a good article. I don't see this as being a positive. Fortune estimated the year median U.S. home prices would hit 1 million if we continue our historical trajectory. Since 1980, average 4.56 a year. If you apply that annual average to the current median home sales price, we'd top $1 million in early 2042, or 20 years from today. So I'll be 64 years old and my home will be $1 million. It's not good. What do you think? I mean, $12 an hour at Starbucks isn't going to work to get $1 million home. You say, well, the person shouldn't work at Starbucks. They should work somewhere better. Okay, fine. So let's say that they went to school and now they have $100,000 in debt. Now, are they going to be able to buy $1 million home? If they have $100,000 in debt and their job pays $27,000 to $40,000 a year, they're not going to make it. They're not going to be able to buy. And so, oh, great, we can have rentals. Have you seen the skyrocketing rent rates, at least in St. Louis? Higher than a house payment. I mean, there are serious economic issues. Now, how will they manifest themselves? I have no idea. But you have serious financial, economic, structural issues that are going to show themselves. And if we can kick the can down the road, that's fine. But they're coming, and maybe they're already here. I'll be honest with you. It's like I have a client that's a single family, or single mom, 2 kids, and $250,000 is the max she can go with her job, and she makes pretty good money. But she's had a divorce. She's got to take care of her kids. She's just starting off economically all over again in her 50s. I mean, it's terrible. She's not going to be able to afford $1 million home. I mean, unless she gets, you say go to school and get a different job. Well, I'm getting tired of this idea that there's all these jobs out there that pay 6 figures and we're all going to be millionaires. And, this isn't good. This isn't a good situation. But that's the first article for today. That was kind of interesting. I'm going to click out of that one. We're going to go to realtor.com. Now we're going to do something a little different. Real estate is about some curb appeal. Real estate is about design. Real estate does need to evoke a passion. When you go to a home and try and sell it, there needs to be some reason for a buyer to be in there. It cannot just be 4 walls in a warehouse type setting. So this says how to remodel your bathroom without renovating. According to Fixer.com, which is just a link to Fixer, the average national cost for a bathroom renovation ranges from $4,500 to $9,000. So that's kind of expensive. And they say, well, you don't have to have a master's plumbing license to make small changes that can have a major effect. Here, a few upgrades can spruce up your space with minimal headache. So it says get a new shower curtain. I agree with that. Apply fresh grout to tiles. I have never had a lot of success regrouting tile. And in my own bathroom, we've got somebody that decided to use silicone at the bottom. And so it's not going to go well. And the tile's ugly. So you could regrout the tile in my bathroom, and I would say not interested, thanks. Wouldn't do me any good. Now, it depends on the tile. If you have subway tile from a long time ago, do it. Add new hardware. Yeah. One of the things my mom didn't know when we were redoing her bathroom is you can buy matching, bathroom faucets that match that are part of a collection that match the sink, toilet paper roll, towel holders, shower. It matches everything. So that's the way I would do it, and I agree with that in a sense. With this particular picture, I don't like this setup, but I could see that. See, even says, it says buy a matching bathroom set to pull a cohesive theme together. I do not agree with painting tile. I despise it. I go into fix and flips all the time, and they just paint the tile gray, and I'm supposed to believe that's going to last for a long time. I don't think it will. Paint the walls white. Okay. That sounds like a plan. Reglaze the tub. You know what? I have not had success with reglazing the tub. When I first bought this house, I'll tell you, I made a mistake. The shower curtains were closed, and I didn't even know that they had reglazed the tubs and that the glaze had been ripped off. To this day, I have the same tubs, and it's terrible. I'm embarrassed by them, but I also have some kids in the house, and until they're gone, I'm not going to redo everything. So, anyway, a new light fixture. When my wife moved into the house, we got a new light fixture and the bathrooms, and we loved it. And I highly recommend doing that. Add a stick-on backsplash. I don't think so. Not going to do it. It's going to look cheap. So I would not recommend that. So there's my design for a bathroom. Then this article came up to me, and I thought it was good. I thought the headline, got me. It says 9 common issues you need to watch out for in homes from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Well, so let's figure out what those are. Okay. If you find okay. The 1950s. Home from the 1950s are widely covered for their mid-century modern appeal. Just remember that these homes are at least 60 years old, so you'll likely run into a few things that need replacing or repair. My home was built in the 50s. Mix and match flooring. You may find a mix of tiles, linoleum, and carpet throughout the house. Replace these if they're worn or damaged. So, in my belief, right now, if you don't have hardwood floors, you're not even in the ballgame. So, I would just do hardwood floors and be done with it. Single pane windows. Gosh, when I go showing houses to buyers, I always say, go look at the windows. You'd be amazed at how many homes still have the original single pane windows. Now, if it's a house built in the 20s, maybe it's not a good, and the windows are in good shape, maybe you put a storm over them and you paint them and you take care of them. If they're from like my house is built in the 50s, but we're on the second set of windows, and I don't like the windows that were with the house. You're not going to know if you get a quality window until you live in the house. But the windows we have are noisy. They're fiberglass. They're cheap looking, and if I had, some money laying around, I would change the windows just because I hate the windows so much. I don't know that I would change all the windows out. Definitely in my bedroom, definitely in the bathroom. And definitely in the front room. Now, my windows are odd sizes, so they would be very expensive. But I think I would go, if I had a choice and what I could have, I would like a fiberglass wood-looking window. I think those are fantastic. Too many walls, it says. 1950 homes tend to have separate closed-off rooms. I think that a kitchen is fine. Open is fine for some people, but closed is okay too. I've noticed. A lot of people are like, I want an open floor plan. Well, I don't even really knows what that means. It's subjective, and actually you probably do want some walls. Probably don't want to see all the way to the bedroom. That's just me. 1960s, ranch-style homes came to prominence in the 60s. Decorated with bright colors, love it or hate it shag carpets. Homes of this decade may have the following issues. Tar and gravel roofs. I have not seen a tar and gravel roof on a ranch in the 60s. Wood panel walls. Love wood paneled walls. Even now, no one likes them. It says, embrace it. Try decorating them with bright colored art or painting them a cheery color. Manufactured wood or just don't love them, remove them and start fresh. Who doesn't like some good wainscoting? Manufactured wood doors. You can spot them by lightweight hollow feel. Replacing these doors with what you love is an opportunity to infuse your personality with that. So let's go with that. Manufactured wood doors. I don't know where you are, but I'm a 2-panel door is the best door to have. 6-panel doors got advertised all the time, but they were built in the 2000s, and I'm not interested in 6-panel doors now. I'm interested in real 2-panel doors. Now, how much is an interior door going to cost you? That is an issue. I think for just the blank itself, it's about $80, and that's a manufactured door. Are you going to find real wood doors, hollow core for your house in 2021 that are less than like $200, $300? I don't think so. So one way you can get around the look a little bit is if you have a friend that can paint. I have a friend that can paint, and he has done a beautiful job on my doors, and they look fabulous. So I'll go with that, though. Now, the 70s, okay. Era of post and beam homes, A-frames, and even more ranch-style houses. Now 40 to 50 years old, these homes can still be in excellent condition, particularly if lovingly maintained by the previous owners. If you're eyeing a 70 house, consider these potential issues. I don't like these types of houses, A-frame houses. If it makes me a bad person, I'm sorry. Pea soup green bathrooms. We do not have pea soup green bathrooms in my home built in the 50s. We have pink and gray. Outdated kitchens. 70s home often come with yellow linoleum countertops, faded linoleum floors, and dark wood cabinetry. And room feel darker than necessary. I know what that look is. During the 2000s, boy, there was a lot of remodeling being done. So I don't see it very often anymore. Also, during the last couple of years, fix and flips gotten popular again, and so I don't see a whole lot of outdated kitchens from the 70s. And if I did, at this point, it would be kind of like a museum piece. So don't mind that. And then popcorn ceilings. Popcorn ceilings didn't originate in the 70s, but they're prevalent in home from this decade. They can collect dirt and cigarette smoke and even make the room look smaller than it is. Occasionally, asbestos lurks in them as well, so it's a good idea to remove them. I do not like popcorn ceilings. I have never liked popcorn ceilings. I do not wish popcorn ceilings on anyone. Ugh. Disgusting. Now, is there anything you can do about it? Oh, you got to get rid of it. Then the question is, should you scrape it off, or should you just put like a 1/4-inch drywall over the top of it? I think you have to scrape it off and do the 1/4-inch drywall. So I don't like that. I would not recommend having. I definitely wouldn't market it as it has popcorn ceilings. I'm sure that in my lifetime somebody's going to want to have a popcorn ceiling again, but it's not going to be me. So we've gone over a lot today. Bathrooms, kitchen remodels. Tomorrow we'll have other stuff. It never ends. There's always something to talk about. If you like real estate content, I think I've got a pretty strong space. The videos that I do, podcasts, are also available as a podcast. Those will be a little more structured. But the live stream is where it's at. Look, if you can't live stream, if people can't know that you're alive and you exist every day, what's the point? I am looking forward. It took me a little while to get the format down. It's the 29th. I'd started the 20th on my idea for a live stream daily. And again, if nobody comes for a year, then nobody comes for a year. But you guys, tell me what you want to see. I would stream to every single platform, but I can't get the chats of all three on one screen, so it doesn't do me any good. But I do have the chat here. I can see you. And anyway, random questions from the audience that don't exist. What do you think about the housing market going into the winter? I think it'll stay strong. I think interest rates determine everything. I think when the Fed increases the borrowing rate, we'll see interest rates go up. We'll see housing prices go down because everyone buys a home on a loan these days. They may say they buy it in cash, but they get it financed eventually. So when do you see the housing market crashing? I don't know. May not crash for 10 years. May crash tomorrow. I don't know. I do remember going through 2008, 2009, 2010. I do remember the hatred for real estate agents. I do remember the bankers got off the hook pretty easy. It wasn't an issue for them. I do remember people that paid their mortgage and had no issues and were doing fine just walk away from their homes because they felt like they could get a better deal somewhere else. I do remember the warnings that said you weren't going to be able to buy another house in 7 years. So shame on you. I do remember people just blatantly taking an opportunity and going and buying these homes that were just trashed for trash for no reason other than, people are nuts. And then, really walking yourself into a great deal. And then I also remember people believing that there was great deals sometimes where where a great deal didn't exist. Just because a house is foreclosed on doesn't mean that it was a good purchase. And I do also, even now though, one of the things that'll always be a lingering thing for me is when someone abandons a home voluntarily. Why would they do that? Well, if they have a basement issue and it's $20,000 to fix the basement, they don't have $20,000, or they're 80 years old, they don't want to fix the basement, they don't care. They just leave it. Go ahead, have the taxes, come take it. Have the government come take it. Have the mortgage company come take the house. It's fine. Just done with it. And that's part and parcel with what I've seen in the world. And let's just see if we can explain this in a certain way. One, you sign all these affidavits that say that you can afford this house and you're going to buy this house. You tie yourself to the bank. Okay, now the bank owns you. And you say, I'll be upstanding. I'll make my payments every month. And then the bank says, oh, that's great. Well, what happens if you don't? Oh, you lose the house. What about all that equity in the home that you had for the years that you did pay? Oh, well, it's gone. So I don't have any remorse for anyone, for any bank that loses a deal because people aren't honest. You think banks are honest? That's what I'm saying. The whole idea coming full circle at the end here is, so what if somebody lies? They never ever, even if you do get caught, you go on somewhere else and you move on. There's the act of lying has become so prevalent, and so let's say you don't make your payment and you lose your house. Are you a bad person? Do you feel shame? Is it community shame? Is that enough to keep you from losing your house in a foreclosure? It isn't. It isn't. And I've just gotten to the point where, they say, oh, well, you should do this. And if you do this and do that, everything's going to be fine. No, it's not. It's not going to be fine. don't lose your job, but you don't have any control over your job if you're working for somebody else. I have control over my job in the sense that I'm here, but I don't make any money sometimes. It's not great. It's all a game, and we should just look at it as such. In the articles we looked at today, real quick. So should you upgrade your bathroom? Well, if you're going to spend $30 on a shower curtain, okay, and it's going to make your bathroom look great, go for it, okay? But some bathrooms are so old and so beat, like a green bathroom, okay? Avocado green bathroom is a dated bathroom. Most people aren't going to want an avocado green bathroom right now. So do you spend 10 grand fixing it up, or do you just lower the price? You're asking price 10,000. I mean, this is not hard for me because I do it all the time. But when I go talk to people and they say, what do I need to do with my house to get it ready for sale? I have somebody that I work with that will work with the furniture and everything in the house, if that's what you want. And then if you don't, if you want to do it yourself, go online and look at stuff and then talk to me about it, because I know what it's like to walk buyers through a house. Okay. I know what they focus on. I know what they're thinking, and it's kind of fun. One of the weird things to me is when buyers go looking through a house and it's vacant, they just can't picture where furniture goes. They just can't picture, what TV the wall's going to go on. And they're very, very confused. Puts them in a confused state. The same confusion happens, believe it or not, on the other side. So let's say the house is full of stuff, like it's a hoarder. Then they walk in and their mind they see these things and just so many inputs at once, they just shut down. So there's a balance. And what I try to do is, each room should have a theme. Oh, this is the kid's bedroom. Oh, this is the office. Oh, this is, the game room. Oh, this is the theater room. Have a purpose for every room, and then don't go overboard with the furniture or anything like that. Anyway, it's been fun. I don't know if I can put forth an hour every day on a live stream, but I am going to live stream every day. And I don't think that the live stream is going to be at noon. I think it'll be at like 9 in the morning. That's when I'd prefer it. And we'll just go from there. If you have any questions, drop me an email. I do have a call-in number, but I haven't checked it in a long time, and I don't know if I'm going to keep going with it. I think if you called and left a voicemail, I would talk about it, but I don't think I'm going to do live calls. It's not a call-in show. It's not an 80s sports call-in local channel. If you want me to talk more about St. Louis, I can. It's a Midwestern city that has its share of issues, and I don't know how they would be solved. St. Louis, for those of you outside of St. Louis crime is bad. It's not as bad as you would believe. That's bad, and it depends on the crime and depends on where you live, and it's bad. Prosecution's not so good. But I hear people say, St. Louis is the most, dangerous city in America. Well, it's not. It's not. There's pockets that are bad, but it's not a terrible place. And I suspect that's the way it is with pretty much every city. So anyway, yeah, we got through live stream. I enjoyed it. I will do it again tomorrow, and I hope you have a good day. I hope things go well for you. I hope I hope it works out for you. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.